that was awful. That was awful. I won't do that again. I won't do that again. So I am really excited to be here again this year, and I'm really excited to bring you the Missions Focus Project. And the reason why we do this every single year, is because we are so blessed here with everything that we have, the homes that we have, and all of the clothes, and all of everything that God has blessed us with. And we really want to remember that Jesus teaches us to love and serve other people. So you guys have been doing that for the past few years. So we have been able to connect with children in India, we've connected with children in Costa Rica, and we've connected with children right here in New Jersey. So, this year's Mission Focus Project, we're just going to play a little game and see if anyone can figure out what this area is, right? So, we're going to use Google Earth. And who can tell me this is an easy question, who can tell me what country we live in right now? Okay, USA. So we are in the United States of America, and you will see here that is actually a live picture of our Children's Ministry Center right here. And who knows, does anybody here know Steve and Jen Butwell? They're friends of ours here at church, you guys know. And who knows where Steve and Jen are right now? Yes. Liberia. So let's take a journey over to Liberia. And what country is Liberia in? Africa. I'm sorry, continent. It's in the continent of Africa, and the country is Liberia. And who knows exactly where in Liberia Steve and Jen are? Anybody? Po River, that's right. So Po River, let me tell you something really cool about Po River. Po River is a community that was built by our church, right? So our church there is helping the people of Po River. There are schools there, there is a church there, and Steve and Jen have gone over to help build a medical clinic there. Because before, the people of Po River would have to travel for days and days and days just to get simple medical care. So God has sent Steve and Jen there to start a medical clinic there. And this is Steve and Jen, our friends here from Zarephath. And are they on the phone? Hello?
Oh, yay!
Say hi. Hi, Jen.
How is everybody?
So I have a couple questions that I'm going to ask Jen and ask Steve, and I'm going to later let a couple of you ask some questions too. So I want you to kind of think about maybe some questions that you have in your mind about Liberia and about the work that they're doing there. So I was wondering if Jen could tell me what she sees around her in Liberia. What does the environment look like there?
Oh, well, it's like a beachfront property. It has an ocean, and it has sand, and there's lots of palm trees and coconut trees, and lots of areas with a lot of grass, and trees and bushes, and a lot of green stuff.
And since you've been there, what is your favorite thing about Liberia?
My favorite thing about Liberia is probably the food. The food here is really good. And let's see, I'll hand it to Steve, and he can tell you what his favorite thing is.
Hey, how's everybody doing? I think that one of my favorite things about Liberia is the food as well. The food is really good.
there that maybe you have not eaten here in New Jersey?
Yeah, we've actually eaten snails a lot.
So you guys should, when Steve comes home, should you bring a lot of fish, a lot of snails, and a lot of lobster? Hey, so Steve, when you come back to the United States, will you bring us some snails so that we can try them? We're a little torn on that, so we're going to have to get back to you on that one. Can you tell us a little bit about the kids in Poe River and what kind of things they enjoy doing?
Well, most of all the people that live around Poe River live in villages. And the villages are made with mud and stick houses. And the kids there, they all walk to school, they all walk home from school, and one of the favorite things to do is they find, if they can find a wheel, they take a stick from the jungle and use the stick to roll the wheel and then run behind it.
That sounds like fun, right?
And it's harder than it looks. I've tried to do it many times, and they make it look very easy, but I have a difficult time at it.
Yeah, it sounds like a really simple thing, but I'm sure it's really difficult to keep that wheel balanced, right?
And the kids can all climb the coconut tree. So they climb all the way up to the top of the coconut tree and kick out the coconut. And then we'll take a big knife, a machete, and chop open the coconut and drink the coconut water.
That sounds really cool. So, Steve, can you tell us, we're talking a little bit about missions today, and we're talking about how God calls us to do different things, and we know that God has called you and Jen to go and serve in Liberia. So can you tell us what God has specifically called you to do there?
Well, we've been following God the whole time, and one of the interesting parts that we've been learning is that besides God calling us to start a medical clinic, God's calling us to do many other things as well, whether that's helping with the school, or just helping in the community, or helping people with their marriages, or helping kids with homework, or just in lots of different areas that each week kind of God shows us something else that we can do to help out. And it's been a really neat journey in learning and listening to God to see where He wanted us to focus.
So you would say that no matter...
Answer that question too.
Well, I think we came over here with the mission of starting a medical clinic, but when you get here, you find that there are so many other things that need to happen. And so just being here and showing Liberians maybe a different way of thinking, a different way of living, and being just a really good witness of our Christian lives and our marriage, and hopefully just as being, good people. Hopefully we are showing them what Jesus, who Jesus really is, through loving others and through our relationships with them. So I think God has called us not only to start a clinic, but just to be with the people and to show them who God really is.
So it sounds to me like what Steve and Jen are saying is that they were called, they felt like their calling there was to go over and start a medical clinic, because because Jen is a nurse, and that's her profession. That's something that she knows how to do. But that God is using them in many other ways as well. So no matter what your talent is, no matter what you do well, God can just definitely use you to bless other people and to share His love with them. So I think, does anyone have a question? I think we'll take 3 questions.
Gina.
So anyone? Grace, you have a question?
How's being a nurse?
What's it like being a nurse? Well, nursing, you can be very busy because people come to you and they're sick. And when they're sick, they expect you to give them medicine and to make them better. So you have to be very patient, and you have to be very caring, and you have to study really hard so that you know exactly what kind of medicine to give people when they're sick. And I like it. I think your kid is a lot of fun.
And Phoebe?
God, He uses me to share with other people and share His love with other people. Yes. How can you give love to other people?
Well, I think one of the best ways you can give love is to show it. So we show our love to the kids in Liberia by giving them a hug and playing with them with their toys and having them over to our house and watching movies and just, hanging out. And then with the older people in Liberia, I think we show them love just by sitting and talking to them and starting friendships with other people and listening to them when they have problems and just being understanding of what their problems are.
Okay, thank you. Justin, what's your question?
How do the snails taste with salt?
How do the snails taste? Well, you know what? Steve really loves them, so I'm going to let him answer this question for him.
That's definitely a Steve question.
They taste chewy.
Like bubblegum chewy, like gummy bears chewy?
Not as much bubblegum chewing, more like you're chewing on rubber.
That sounds good. Okay, so we have one more question from Nathaniel.
What are you specifically doing right now?
Right now, we're sitting at a park, talking to you.
That's very specific. Did that answer your question, Nathaniel? Yes. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to let Steve and Jen go back, but I want to encourage you guys, if you would like to write down questions that you have, I can send them to Steve and Jen, and maybe on Tuesday when we have our mission focus day, we can get some of those questions answered for you. Okay? So everybody say thank you to Steve and Jen.
And Sunita.
And before we let them go, we're going to just pray for them. And I've asked Gina. So our friend Gina, who you guys know, Po River and Liberia is really close to her heart, and she is in contact with Steve and Jen a lot. So I've asked Gina to just say a prayer for Steve and Jen. So if we could maybe take off our hats and bow our heads. Okay, and let's keep Steve and Jen in our hearts while we pray.
Dear Lord, ask for encouragement encouragement for Steve and Jen and just have them help the people there even more. And please have all these kids here do something to help them. In your name, amen.
Okay, so thanks again to Steve and Jen. So we're going to talk a little bit about what we're going to do this year.